Today is Saturday, August 28th, and I have been extremely stressed out and physically drained and emotionally drained for a while, and um, I'm basically like a while ago I was in a couple car accidents that smashed the first 7 or 8 vertebrae in my neck, and then I was also in another car accident that smashed my 2 collarbones. And while I was healing, I was in I was in a fight because somebody tried to rob me, so I held her down to the ground until the cops came. So the shoulder never healed, and there is nerve endings that go down your spinal column, down and through your arm, like you're in between your collarbones and then outside your armpit. So the backside of my shoulders really get sore and hurt a lot, and because of the medication I'm on, I can't take painkillers because they're they're fatal when mixed. So I have one of these types of mats. They're called Tzatziki Mats, and I lay down on them because it helps the pressure points in your back. It's got a hood. So when you lay here, basically these things, they pierce your skin, and it like ends up like making your skin feel like it's got a little bit of a sunburn. And then what happens is you basically get like a numb feeling, and your body starts to relax. You're supposed to lay here for about 30 minutes. It says that you should be able to fall asleep on it. It's just I have a really, really hard time staying asleep. Like, I've woken up during like major procedures where I was like unconscious and stuff, so that kind of stuff doesn't usually work very well on me, but it does help relieve a lot of the tension in your body. And if your brain and your body are overworked or stressed out, then you don't get a chance to alleviate any of the stress that you've retained. So it's important as part of your physical health and your mental health to allow yourself time to relax. And that is something that I struggle with doing personally. Like, I don't normally give myself time to sit and just breathe. So usually when I find myself in that situation, I find it best to demonstrate it to other people so that it's easier for me to be there on behalf of somebody else than it is to be there on my own behalf. So it's kind of why I'm making this video. But you basically you sit, you breathe, you let your body like relax, and then just let your mind wander. There's some mantras that I do. I'm not going to do them because I'm timid, but one of them is a Buddhist mantra that goes, I believe the translation is, a lotus is a flower that blooms in the mud. The thicker and deeper the mud, the more beautiful the flower. And the words of it are, Nam Yoho Renge Kyo. And you just repeat that as you're breathing and sitting in silence. But it's really whatever your phrase or anything that you say to yourself, a prayer or whatever brings you peace, just let yourself feel it. I recommend small cups of water, cold water. Your predatory prey instinct brain can't eat or drink if there's a predator nearby. So knowing that and forcing yourself to sip and actively breathe, be aware, it's sometimes good to do that kind of thing. For me personally, sometimes it's not, because I become too overly stimulated to my environment to the point where it starts to make me not function as well as I could. But sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, I need to physically force myself to sit here and do nothing. And I'm posting this video because perhaps you're the same way and need reminded that your brain and your body need a chance to reset too, especially if you've been through a stressful week, a stressful day, bad time, a bad moment. You need to calm down. I recommend doing something like this because it does help. So keep going with that and just kind of relax and let your mind kind of wander, and then just be aware of your breathing, the feeling of the air, the feeling of, like, is it cold, is it cool? And then I like to imagine scenarios that don't exist, like, well, questions that don't exist. I consider myself a philosopher. Like, in my mind, you can't, in my mind, the universe is infinite. And I believe that because we know matter can't be created or destroyed. So in my mind, the universe is infinite. And I like to imagine how that looks or feels from a outside party. And I just envision it, or I let my mind daydream. Sometimes I think about the story I'm writing with my best friend Will, and it's something I would actually like to get back into doing because I miss writing. I like writing a lot. I think it's important to connect yourself to, it's called grounding, to your environment, to your place, to your space, to your mind, to your conscious, so that you're actively becoming aware of where you're at mentally and physically. It's important to take those kinds of breaks, because if you don't allow yourself time for yourself, you're not going to really be there for anybody else, no matter how hard you try, because if you're not there for you first, you're putting everybody else that you want to put first last. So hang in there, you matter. I'm going to end this video and maybe write or try. If you like my content, please subscribe. Have a good day.